Sadly, many have unknowingly signed up to government digital ID without their explicit consent. This means your identity has been through official identity proofing through systems like OneLogin in the UK or Login.gov in the US. This ID verification will remain in government systems permanently. However, the wallet and the credential act as the crucial bridge between public and private sector services and where your data is aggregated, as illustrated here. So while you cannot undo the initial verification, you can control how your ID credential is reused, shared and linked in the future. This video breaks down into 7 practical chapters with clear action points under each one. A checklist format is available on my Substack page, so I'll include the link below. The most powerful lever that you now have is to refuse further data engagement. To do this, 3 clear steps are needed. 1. Avoid reusing the same login for new services. So if you are prompted to log in via OneLogin or using the Gov wallet, pursue alternatives such as paper, postal or in-person formats that still exist. 2. Don't connect public or private sector apps, whether it's healthcare, banking, employers or landlords. Of course, if you do so, each linkage expands your data identity graph. 3. Keep your devices clean. Delete the Gov wallet app to remove the one access vector and ensure it doesn't get reinstalled via updates. You can still ensure that your verified ID doesn't become a behavioral tracking tool by ensuring that you use hardened browsers such as Firefox or Brave browser and ensure that cross-site tracking is disabled. You can also separate your identities to use different email addresses or devices for government versus personal or work use. Installing a VPN such as Proton reduces the metadata trails from IP and location patterns. See this video for more digital hygiene steps. You can also reduce what governments and their partner systems can access or cross-reference through the following. Check your privacy settings on your OneLogin or equivalent account. Unlink any services where possible and delete stored documents if you can. Make sure that you have opted out of any further service improvements, which will likely mean more data sharing otherwise. You may also wish to submit a subject access request, an SAR, or a freedom of information request to understand what data is held on you and how it's being shared. If you do this, please share your outcomes with me, but this reinforces accountability and generates a paper trail. In the future, try to only use analog routes so that you can stay off the digital rails. Renew passports, driving licenses and so on by post or in person. This will bypass unified digital ID layers in most cases, but of course the situation is dynamic, so be aware of that. In addition, maintain valid paper proofs, including birth certificates, utility bills, so that you can use these to actually verify identity rather than going through the Gov wallet. Awareness is your best defense here. Be observant of where ID systems are expanding. We know governments will target benefits, healthcare, and so on. Therefore, we must fight to actually maintain equivalent alternatives. Watch out for new tech procurements and any new laws linking OneLogin style systems to payments. And let me know if you find anything newsworthy. It's also worth applying pressure to privacy groups, as for all their noise and bluster, they need to follow the finer details, and that's so important. Contain what you have already created, but do not feed that beast. We know the anchor record is permanent, so isolate it as best you can. Be aware of the convenience lure, prompts that encourage you to share your ID via data sharing contracts, and simply decline them. Go through the hassle of verifying via slower methods. What we desperately need is for collective pressure if we have any hope of changing this system. So educate people on the fact that digital ID is not simply the notion of a brick card or other such nonsense as commonly portrayed. It's not going to arrive in the post. The government wants this information on one login generated just once, and to that end you could try political pressure to push for opt-out rights. But we must ensure that we keep analog alternatives available by using them. If a substantial minority create enough noise and pressure, such public scrutiny will slow integration. So while you cannot unverify yourself, you can contain your data and its usage. Avoid reuse, refuse linkages, and stay paper-based. This is a containment strategy rather than direct reversal. You do not want your credential becoming the master key to your life, and you want to therefore depower it. And you can by forcing it to become just one ID among any. I hope this has been useful. Don't forget the checklist is on the Substack link, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.